How would you react if you discovered a dangerous creature making a home in your backyard? If the well-being and joy of your family hung in the balance, would you passively stand by, allowing fate to dictate the outcome? Or would you actively intervene when a grizzly bear that had been residing in your backyard for days began showing a growing audacity? Lawrence Michael Chuck understood that he had to take all necessary measures to safeguard his family when he faced such a scenario. However, his choice elicited a surge of internet criticism, with many contending that Michael Chuck's actions were unduly harsh and reckless. This narrative is one that will certainly provoke reflection. Welcome to Animal Ways Stories. It was a dreary mid-October in 2018 at Lawrence Michael Chuck's property in Bella Coola, British Columbia, Canada. Michael Chuck and his spouse had just come back from a week-long trip. They were excited to reunite with their children, share tales of their journey, and enjoy some quality family time. But they were greeted with distressing news. Michael Chuck's in-laws, who had been watching over the children, revealed that a family of grizzlies had set up residence in Michael Chuck's backyard. The mother bear and her 3 cubs had been creating chaos on the property. Drawn by the various fruit trees on the property, the bears would visit daily. They would scale the trees, feast on the fruits, dig holes searching for roots, and litter the yard with their droppings. It was increasingly difficult to venture outside. The children were petrified, and all attempts made by Michael Chuck's in-laws to scare the bears away were futile. The older couple tried to use a bucket of nuts and bolts to create noise and scare the bears, but this proved unsuccessful. The bears were bold and territorial. The animals seemed to think it was Michael Chuck's family trespassing on their land, not the other way around. Action had to be taken should the bears return. Grizzly bears are sturdy, quick, and tenacious. They are one of the biggest brown bear subspecies, and they are absolutely formidable. They are exceptional fighters, particularly when it comes to defending their offspring. While many people can't fathom living so close to such predators, grizzlies are a frequent sight in Bella Coola, British Columbia. Bella Coola, with its verdant trees and abundant river, is a prominent location for human-bear encounters. It's a lush paradise for both humans and bears, teeming with wild animals, making the community a popular tourist attraction. Bear safaris and tours are big business in Bella Coola. Some suggest that because of this, the area's grizzlies have become more audacious, losing their inherent fear of humans. This means, of course, that unwanted bear encounters are also increasing. Lawrence Michael Chuck couldn't allow the mother grizzly and her 3 cubs to seize control. He feared a terrible event was imminent. His children were young, and his daughter was particularly scared of the animals. His family had been previously attacked by bears, with his daughter bearing the brunt of it. His daughter's arm was severely injured in that prior bear encounter. Michael Chuck feared the worst. Adults are easy targets for grizzlies, and children pose even less of a threat. The 54-year-old man was determined to protect his family if the bears were to return. He decided he would not allow them to roam freely. The bears returned the following morning, as you might have guessed by now. They were beautiful creatures, no doubt, as they slowly emerged from the pines and toward the fruit trees. Michael Chuck didn't want to harm the animals, but he had to make them understand they weren't welcome. The man seized his shotgun, loaded with birdshot, and stepped outside. His wife and children stayed inside the house, watching from a window. His wife decided to film the entire encounter. Lawrence Michael Chuck didn't want to take any unnecessary risks or traumatize his children. The man went outside and stood below his front deck, his dog joining him bravely in this mission. Michael Chuck took a deep breath and fired his first shot into the air, hoping the noise would be enough to scare the bears away and quickly end this predicament. Unfortunately, the reality was far from his hope. The grizzly didn't plan to retreat without a fight. The animal charged at Michael Chuck, and terrified, the man sprinted as fast as he could back into the house. After a while, however, the mother bears and her cubs started to leave. Michael Chuck took this as a good sign, hoping the animals had finally understood they weren't welcome and were leaving for good. With the bears now retreating, Michael Chuck thought they could use some additional encouragement. He stepped outside again, shotgun ready, and fired another round into the air, hoping to continue to drive the bears away. But this proved to be a miscalculation on the man's part. The mother bear turned around slowly, her eyes full of threatening intent. She watched Michael Chuck closely as if trying to intimidate the man. Michael Chuck yelled at the bear to keep moving along, but this only aggravated the situation. The mother bear put her ears down and pulled her head back. Her mouth opened to reveal sharp teeth glistening in the sunlight, a terrifying sight. Suddenly, she charged at the man. "I don't think I'm going to make it back to the house," Michael Chuck thought, but he knew he had to try and save himself for the sake of his children. As soon as the bear started charging, Michael Chuck began backpedaling as fast as he could. At one point, the man lost his right shoe. The shoe nearly tripped him, but thankfully, Michael Chuck managed to remain on his feet. He had a strategy in mind. He waited until the bear was just across the driveway. Then he lifted his shotgun and aimed at the bear's right leg. Michael Chuck fired, knowing this was his only chance. The bear tumbled on the ground, stunned by the shot. The man knew he only had a few seconds, so he dashed away, not wasting any time to see what the bear did next. Fortunately, this decision proved to be the right one, because it only took the bear a few moments to regain her footing and resume her chase. By then, however, Lawrence Michael Chuck had already dived into the door as quickly as possible and slammed it shut behind him. He was safe inside the house. The family watched as the grizzly mother returned to her cubs. The four animals left together. The man later reported the incident to BC conservation officers. Michael Chuck's wife uploaded the video on YouTube. In a write-up attached to the video, Michael Chuck provided further details. "There was no blood, no hair, and I know she'll be sore, but she'll now think twice about approaching people. I talked it over with the local conservation officers, showed them the video, and they said I was justified in defending myself and my family. I'm just glad it was me and not the kids out there," he wrote. But the video sparked a wave of controversy, with people criticizing his decision to shoot at the bear. Michael Chuck defended his actions, arguing that he never intended to hurt the animal, hence the use of birdshot. "I didn't want to blind her by hitting her in the face, so I aimed at her right side to hopefully trip her up, to buy me enough time to run inside the house." The man explained that bear was not gonna leave. He said it probably worked out good because the bear's alive and I'm alive. What did you think he should have done? Did he act right? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe for more content like this.